What's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 3 of The Last Lap. I've got a ton to cover in this episode with y'all. I'm gonna be recapping my race at UVA where I had a 40-second PR. I'm gonna tell you about my first 70-mile week ever, and I'm gonna finish off the episode as I always do with my low and my high, and then what's coming up next. I also wanted to do a new thing where at the end of my videos, I'm gonna be answering a few of y'all's questions. So if you leave your questions in the comments, I'll answer 3 to 5 of them at the end of the next video. And I'll keep that up every week so that I can make sure that I'm adding value back to y'all and I get to share all the things that I learned throughout this journey this year with y'all. Okay, so first up, UVA. This was a crazy race because it was actually during a tropical storm and we knew it was gonna be raining, we knew it was gonna be a tough and gritty course. And I've actually raced UVA like a million times. The course is super hilly, but Virginia's obviously super beautiful, especially in the fall whenever the leaves are changing. So it's a pretty course, but it's brutal. And we actually had ACCs there last year. And unfortunately, that is where I ended up in the med tent afterwards. I kind of got to the last 2K and just started seeing stars and kind of took everything for me to get to the finish line. So it was definitely a really cool moment for me to be able to go back to the same course where I've had some really hard times in the past and kind of let those go and feel like I'm a completely different cross-country runner this year and really just approach it with the send it mentality. I really believe that my training and my fitness this year is better than it ever has been. So I kind of just continued to treat it the same way that I did with Elon and pretend like it was practice and find different objects to look at and just focus in on until I get past them and then pick the next one. Another thing that I've added to make it feel more like practice is actually wearing my watch while I race. It's funny, my teammate Amino gives me crap for it, but I love it. It makes me feel more like calm and safe like I do just in a workout. The race was actually a 5K, so even though all of our races are normally 6Ks for cross country, it's kind of nice that I did Elon first, which was a 4K, and then this race at UVA was a 5K, and then our next race, Nuttycombe, will be our regular distance, which is a 6K. And this is actually going to be the Nationals course later on this year. And Nationals will be a 6K. So we actually did a different course than we will later on. Some of the highlights of the trip, whenever we got there, we had dinner at this famous pasta place there. And I got chicken parm, which was so good. Obviously the pasta was gluten-free because I have celiac. And then I came home and I was still hungry. So had a little peanut butter banana bagel action, which I definitely feel like helped fuel me for the next morning. I think we raced around 9:45, and so we did our shakeout at 6 in the morning and had another PB banana bagel before the race. I just like to keep it simple, and then some coffee, and then we drove over to the course. We actually ended up staying in the van for like 30 minutes before we got out just because it was raining. So we hung out in there until it was like 10 minutes before we had to go warm up. And then we walked out to where our tent was. And the line for the porta potty was so long. Very classic cross country. We all got our warm up in, and I'm really excited that Nationals is gonna be there because I have raced the course so much. And the race was awesome. I actually ended up running a 40-second PR, which was very exciting, especially considering that I've run that course a ton of times in my career here. I don't think it was anything super special. You know, I didn't like have the best day of my entire life, but I am proud of it and obviously can't ever be upset with the PR. So that was a good stepping stone for the season. We did like 8-mile cool down, I think, because it was our faux long run day. And then I got back, and the next week, that was when I actually did my first 70-mile week ever. And I loved it. I've always wanted to try doing 70 miles. It's something that all the older girls did whenever I was a freshman. And I knew that I had to build my mileage up slowly, but I've been doing 60 to 65. So honestly, 70 felt pretty similar. It didn't feel like that big of a jump. I didn't do my threshold double on Tuesday just to make sure that I wasn't adding intensity and volume, but felt pretty good, honestly. Felt more beat up whenever it was preseason and I was having to walk around all the time and sleep deprived. So very, very happy with that. Very glad I got to try it. And I definitely was tired this week, which was, you know, the week after I did my first 70, but I did 70 again this week, and knock on wood, everything is feeling good. Honestly, this is something I've been thinking a lot about how I wanted to share it, because talking about building up your mileage is a scary thing because when you're doing it, you don't know how your body's gonna respond. And I've never done this before, so it's definitely scary to not just keep doing the same thing to make sure everything stays the same for the rest of the season. But I also know I have really big goals for this year. And so I told this to one of my teammates at the beginning of the year, whenever I was running a lot of mileage, I was like, if I want to run big girl times, I gotta run big girl mileage. So, and I know it's not the same for everyone. A lot of people can do well off of lower mileage and cross training, but it's just been something that I wanted to try. So I'm really grateful that it went well. And last but not least, my low and my high. I will do the low first. We were supposed to do Day of the Apple. My teammate Carly had this great idea where we were gonna go apple picking, and then we would go home and make like an apple pie or a bunch of different desserts together. And her and Charlotte put in so much work trying to find an apple orchard for us to go to, and all of them were closed or literally out of apples. So I guess everyone's just trying to do it right now. I don't know, but that was really sad that we couldn't do that. Apple picking is something I've literally wanted to do since I was like 5 years old. Fun fact, I was obsessed with Granny Smith apples whenever I was little. So we are gonna make sure that we do it at some point because I feel like that'd be the most wholesome team event ever. And now for the high of the week, which I'm so excited to tell y'all about. College game day came to Duke for football for the first time ever for the Duke Notre Dame football game. And we got an email about a week out saying that we were gonna get to go on the field during the first timeout of the second quarter to get presented for our ACC track and field championship that we won last outdoor season. And this was a really special championship to me because we had tied 2 before that and never been outright champs. And I also hadn't gotten to contribute to an outdoor title. The year before last year, whenever I scored my first points at ACCs, we ended up being super close and losing at the very end. So it was a really special moment and I'm really glad we got to go on the field for it. But this day was crazy because we actually drove out to American Tobacco Trail, ran our 14 miles, came back to campus and went straight to college game day because they were set up on the main quad in front of the chapel, and got to see them the last 20 minutes, which is the best part anyways. And then I drove home, made some food, got to just chill, take a nap, do a little bit of homework, and then I got ready for the game. And the game was so fun. Honestly, one of my best memories here at Duke, except for the fact that we lost. It was really, really sad at the very end because everyone thought we were gonna win and Notre Dame was on a 4th down. And they actually ended up getting the first down on that 4th down and then going to score a touchdown and do a 2-point conversion. So it was really, really sad and definitely not the ending that we were all expecting or hoping for the game, but was still a highlight, was still an incredible memory to get to go on the field and witness such a historic moment for Duke football. And last but not least, what's coming up, I am gonna be taking a down week because we are racing Nuttycombe on Friday, which I'm super excited about. It's in Wisconsin and we are leaving Wednesday. So I already sent out my NOVAPs, which you have to send to all of your teachers saying you're gonna be absent from Wednesday to Friday. And to get ready for that, I literally have tutoring for like 3 hours tomorrow. And I'm gonna be doing a surprise with my team tomorrow afternoon that I can't talk about, but stay tuned because I will put it in next week's episode. Thank you all for watching. Hope you had an amazing weekend and I'll see you next week. Stay salty.